Hi everyone, very good evening. Welcome to the session. I am Vishnodhan Chandapatla, and today I am just going to take a demo session of certified SOC expert. As we have planned, so I welcome you all to SIEM Intelligence family. Prior to going for session, just we'll have a basic introduction of our SIEM Intelligence. SIEM Intelligence is one of the most, you can say, fast-growing IT information security, you can say, training provider company, and you can say we have numerous instructors who is having a very good domain expertise, more than 15 years experience in various domains. Specifically, they are accredited with specific certifications, something like you can say CSSP, OSCP, OACP, and you can I am myself I am a CES and CE certified. So like that, we have instructors with a numerous experience. Okay, and our motto is to train people with full, you can say, in terms of you can consider in terms of practical sessions, as well as you can say provided ongoing, you can say, uh, practical sessions and assignments. Okay, so our main motto is to train you in terms of cybersecurity, and we will help you out in terms of, you can say, uh, specifically in terms of, you can say, cybersecurity professional services. uh, and myself, again, Vishnodhan Chandapatla. Just prior to going for the session, we'll have just a brief introduction about me, so that you can come to know what is my expertise, so that how you can able to understand the level of this particular SOC experts in terms of understanding. Okay, let's move on to the just session. I'm a postgraduate. Basically, I'm from Telangana. I did my postgraduate in IT in Punjab Technical University in 2007, and presently I'm doing some research papers in cyber forensics and information security from University of Madras. Okay, I do have so many accreditations, something like CASA, Pure Analyst, Security Plus, Network Plus, CEH, and you can say ENSA version 2. And if you if talk about my career progress, so I am a system administrator. I was a system administrator and network administrator for a legacy network for more than 5 years. Where I understand about what is meant by systems, what is meant by services, what is by network, various networks across in a different organization structure. And then I shifted into cybersecurity after 5 years of my IT experience. I shifted to cybersecurity as a coordinator, where I handled incident handling response member as a member for more than two years, and where I handle malware analysis, understanding of threat hunting, and you can say how to handle incident response in a very efficiently. Then I changed over my activity towards the log monitoring, where I started working as a Splunk analyst, as a log analyst for a threat hunting team for network operation center. Then I moved on to system administrator and operations manager for QRadar, where I started working in SOC, and where I also understand so many other SIM tools, something like you can say Logger, MEA, that is managing an event analysis, and you can I have also having a good numerous experience on SolarWinds and other open source SIM tools. Presently, I am working for cloud-based reporting analysis as a senior system analyst for a data center management unit. This is my career report, and my you can say accreditations, and as well as my uh, progress in terms of, you can say, education. So where I started as my career from system administrator to now as a senior system analyst for a data center communication management unit. So this is something you can now come to know. So over the period of 15 years, I have been working in IT, and more than 10 years I have been working in IT security, where I have learned various cybersecurity terms, security device activities, security policies, security management. You can say understanding of policies. Got a in-depth knowledge of you can say each and every aspect of you can say security. I do this training sessions of cybersecurity experts, curator analysts, you can say security plus, network plus, and CEH in a say NDA. See, there are a lot many certifications that I used to take the sessions past 3 years. So I'm more enthusiastic to take sessions in terms of understandings as well as you can say knowledge enhancement. Okay, so this is my a small career approach. Let's move on to the topic, the certified SOC expert. If you start understanding certified SOC experts, so we are providing a that means SIEM intelligence providing this certified SOC expert with a numerous you can say in-depth and fascinating content on various domain concepts. You can talk about total 5 different concepts, 5 different domains of you can say IT security, where we will understand the core concepts of what is meant by SOC, how we are going to understand a log, how we are going to understand you can say uh, vulnerability assessment, and there is something called SolarWinds SCM concepts, so that you can get an idea of what is meant by SIEM concepts, and we will understand about the concepts of incident response and handling, how to handle this. So these are the core concepts of you can say SOC, so that once you understand all these concepts, you can come to know what is the scope in SOC, what are the different aspects are there, how many domains are there, what are the different domains in SOC, what are the different level of expertise that can be required in SOC, what is the different methodologies of SOC, what is mean by hybridization SOC, intra SOC, extra SOC, SOC as a service. So there are lot many things into come into the picture. We'll discuss all those things, how the SOC got evaluated. So we'll discuss what are the functions, what is the roles, what is the scope, how from where to where you can reach, from L1 to what level you can reach. So that all we will discuss in this particular SOC certified SOC experts. Okay, and we will also understand what is meant by vulnerability assessment, most important concept. Because being a SOC, you should know what is meant by vulnerability assessment, what is meant by CVE, what is meant by CVSS. So these are some concepts which we are going to understand very deeply in our further sessions. So what kind of, see, people always come us for a professional courses. So we should be in a position to tell. So what if you completed this course? What you can do? What you can be? What how much you are confident enough in which field? That I can confidently say that you can be a security analyst and an engineer, and you can say associate security engineer, and you can go for a security IT auditor, beginner cybersecurity specialist. So and you can be a tester and L1 L2 analyst. So L1 L2 analyst in terms of you can say people even join sometimes even people asked and they used to say that sir, I have already working as a L2 analyst, then how this particular course help out me. So the concept, say people have joined after BTech or MTech, they directly joined as a L2 or L1. So after of over the period of time, they are struggling a lot in terms of understanding the core concepts of you can say security. If you don't know the core concepts of security, you can't manage what are the different services are there, what is mean by DLP, DRM, you can say EDR, HDR, NDR. If you don't know all these concepts, then it's very difficult to handle an SOC as a analyst. What is mean by log, how you are going to manage a log management. So these are the very important steps that you have to first understand. So being a direct entry in a SOC, which makes you more uncomfortable in terms of understanding core concepts, and sometimes you will be something lag in front of your you can say team, or you can say or subordinate, so that you will feel you yourself feel uncomfortable in terms of explain some special services where we require to be exposed. You can say you have to give some views on in terms of you can say uh, for example, security device, if I start talking about what is meant by perimeter security, what is meant by L2 level network attacks, L3 level network, so what is meant by common vulnerability, what is meant by Windows based vulnerability, what is meant by SMB vulnerability. If you don't know these basic concepts, what is meant by DOS, what is meant by DDoS, what is meant by you can say there are you can say brute force attack. what is the password spraying, what is the different type of attacks that are there, what is in the low level category, high level category. If you don't know these basic concepts, so it is very difficult to get into your you can, though you may get the job, though you are a working guy, but if you don't know the concepts of these, then it will be a very big challenge for you to sustain in job. That's why we are here to help you out. What is the core concepts? So where we are going to handle all these 5 domains. Though in a 5 domains of, you can say, if you start understanding about SOC operations, or you can say center concepts, we'll discuss about all SOC, how SOC looks like. So we'll discuss now. Okay. So we'll discuss in a very deeply. I mean, say I'll deep dive into this particular session content. Okay. So we have total 11 indexes in these 11 sections. So the first and foremost is why these 11 sections. So what is in the 11 sections? So these are, you can consider as units. You can consider the units. There are total 11 units where you are going to understand these 5 domains over here. You can directly understanding SOC concepts, log security management concepts, fundamental networks and data communications, lab infrastructure and environment setup, how a ideal network scenario looks like, how environment looks like, what is setup, what is meant by services, what is meant by DNS, what is meant by DHCP. We'll discuss about the lab environment. Then we'll discuss about anatomy of cyber attacks. What is meant by cyber attacks, how it looks like. Okay, what is meant by anatomy. So if you start understanding of anatomy, there are something called probe, penetrate, persistence, you can say propagate, and you can say paralyze. So these are some, you can take it as a common attack. If you go towards your cyber attack, there's something called reconnaissance. You can say gathering of information, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installations. You can say lateral movement, command and control, and exfiltration, getting actions, achievement of your objects. So how you are going to handle that particular anatomy of cyber attacks? What is meant by unauthorized access? So we'll discuss about cyber attack life cycle there. So we'll discuss so many other terminology, something called what is meant by MITRE, what is meant by, you can say, what are the basic concepts of MITRE and all. So you will come to know what is the tactics, techniques and procedures there. So how an attacker can get into the system. So what are the different stages he may adapt. So you can analyze those structures, and so that you can easily identify the activity of an attacker. Then we will discuss about what is meant by vulnerability. See, being a SOC, it is not mean that you are looking only for the issues. You are only monitoring the issues. You need to patch that particular activities. So to identify some patches, so first you have to identify what is meant by vulnerability. So prior to vulnerability, we will discuss about what is meant by threat, exploit and vulnerability. What is the relation between threat, exploit and vulnerability? We will discuss these 3 things: threat, exploitation, vulnerability, and finally how it will be comparison in terms of risk. We'll discuss all this, and we'll do some practical. We'll do some you can say vulnerability assessment exercise, something like you can take Nessus, you can take OWASP. We'll do some. I'll create some vulnerable machines, and I'll try to show you how to configure that and how to see the vulnerability scoring system, that is called CVSS, and what are the different versions are there in CVSS, so that you can easily adapt whether that particular vulnerability is in a low or a information, or you can say medium or a high. So how you are going to gather and how you are going to assign the priority towards that particular vulnerability. And there are some common vulnerability exposures, that is called CVEs, already available in the internet. So there we are going to understand what is meant by that particular CVE and CVSS scoring system. Okay. Then we will discuss why the core concept of SOC is something like SIEM. What is SIEM? How this SIEM come into the picture? What is meant by SIEM? Security Information Event Management. How it got evolved? What is meant by SIEM? What is meant by SCM? There are 2 combination of components called Security Information Management. There is something called Security Event Management. Out of that, Security Information Management is something of collection and all and storage purpose, where you can also consider as a basic log collector. And what is meant by SCM? It will be something like security event manager, where you can talk about correlation, creation of rules, alerts, creation dashboards, compliance reports, and you can make it out some of the things. Okay. And security operations center exercises, how we can do a basic exercises. So what if you can say one kind of incident occurs, or you can say some alert comes, what we need to do, how to create a playbook and all, that we'll discuss. And finally we'll discuss about what if it is a really triggered action. What if it's really action that whatever you're monitoring is really true, then what kind of responses you have to adapt to mitigate that issue, or to, you can say, close that particular incident. How to learn the things, how to create your root cause analysis and playbooks, and you can say standard operating procedures in terms of incident response and handling mechanism. So this is the core concept of our entire cybersecurity, you can say, expertise, SOC expertise. So if you go one by one and a course content, if you go in a deep dive, so you should know. So what is meant by you can say SOC operative concepts, where we discuss what is SOC basically, why it is required, most important, and the evolution, functions, different roles. What is meant by L1, threat hunter, network hunter, you can say malware analyst, crypto analyst. There's something called, you can say, antivirus patch management team, VAPT team. What is the use? Why these kind of different roles is required? Why SOC manager is required? Why you can say auditor is required, in internal auditor is required for SOC. So we will discuss about different technologies. What is meant by SOC technologies? Intra SOC, extra SOC. You can say hybridization of SOC. SOC as a service. What is the infrastructure? Different types of infrastructures. So we'll discuss all those things. And further, then after, once you got a basic idea of SOC, we'll discuss about log security management. Most important. How a security log management to come into the evaluation again. What is the, you can say, history of the log, why this log is important. Earlier, why it doesn't have so much of, you can say, no caring and all. Why now it has a very good tool to understand the activity of any system, or a server, or you can say a service. What is in by management infrastructure? How we are going to manage, how we are going to collect, how we are going to storage, how we are going to dispose, how we are going to alert mechanism, setting of mechanism, finding of mechanism, storing of mechanism, what are the different types of storages. We'll discuss all those things. Planning, how to plan, what are the things to be collected. See, if you have 1,000 machines, is there 1,000 machines needs to be collected? No, it's not required. So you need to collect from a specific content of machines where it is required. So we'll discuss out of 1,000 machines what are the important machines to collect the data, so that entire activity getting captured by using that particular some set of 10 machines or 15 machines of services. And the finally operational process, how to manage your log management in an operational way, so that how to set up your DR, IR, that is incident response, uh, crisis management plan, disaster recovery plan. So we are going to understand those DC, DR concepts, EC, concepts. So we'll discuss basic idea of those. These are core concepts. Again, I am telling it will be something like a little bit you can say 30-60, or you can say 70-30 theory with the practical. So you will feel a good understanding of SOC in a deeper manner. Okay. Okay. So this is what the concepts of first two sections. Then fundamental. So for everyone, it's most important that you should know fundamental networking and TCP data communication concepts, to identify what is the difference between a log management and a flow management. Now the question comes: what is meant by log? What is meant by flow? So what are the different flows are there? Why we are going to enumerate flows? What are the information that we are going to get? So what are the, how we can do a protocol analysis, port analysis, service analysis, or what are the different information that you can get in the flow? How we are going to manipulate? And lab setup, that I am going to set up some set of, you can say, environment where we can create so much of buzz, and we can create some logs, and I'll show you this is called logs, this is called event, this is called, you can say, terminology of core, you can say normalization data, this data, that So we'll discuss all those stuff. So there are some different services. We'll discuss those. How to set up an ideal network. Those we will discuss. Okay. Then anatomy. So as I said, what is meant by cyber attack? How we are going to define, and what is meant by Windows common vulnerabilities as common threats. What is meant by SMB attack? What is meant by brute force attack? What is meant by, you can say, reverse shell? What is meant by you say there are some specific tools discussed in Metapreter. So how we are going to enumerate enumerate those things. Then what is my Linux based system threats, and what is meant by network attacks, network security attacks. So what is meant by network attacks and what is meant by network security attacks? How we are going to differentiate these two? There is something called network attacks. Okay. Then what is network security attack? So we'll discuss the what is information security. Now what is meant by information system security? So the concepts are looks like very similar, but there is a very deep differences. So we'll discuss what is the concepts of those things. Okay. Then network ports and protocol based attacks. What if port 443 attack is getting happened? What if port 21 getting happens? What is the meaning of, you can say, 389 port activity? What if there is a huge 389 port activity going on? What is the meaning of that? So we'll discuss all those based attack details, so that you will identify if this is a port kind of activity, then this may be a kind of attack. If it is a 443 with a database, there may be a blind SQL injection, or you can say blind uh, structural query language hit might have been happened, or you can say they might be going for URL manipulation, or you can say cross-site scripting, or you can say replay attacks. So we'll discuss all those things. And as I said, once it's not mean that you are going to only monitor the things, you are going to patch your internal loopholes. So for that you have to go for a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. This is a continuous practice for entire organization. What is meant by vulnerability? How to do a vulnerability analysis? What is the frequency that we need to take care of continuously, and what is the overview of vulnerability assessment, and you can say issues, what are the different issues they come, how to solve those, how to patch those things, what are the different types of, you can say, assessment, and it is important for small and large scale companies and organizations. Then once it's completed, we'll do some practicals. As I said, we'll create some vulnerable machine, this vanilla Windows 7 or Windows 8 machine, and I'll do some Nessus vulnerability assessment, and you will find some list of vulnerabilities over there. Now it is time, and there will be some suggestions will be given. According to that, we need to patch up the solution. So I'll go back and show you how the patch mechanism can be worked in a better manner. How we are going to close those windows so that the attacker cannot come into through that particular window, or they can throw some rat kind of activity so that he can uh, have a communication over the window, or you can say loophole. Then we will discuss about Linux system vulnerability analysis. What are the different, you can say, hardware, you can say security benchmarks that we need to opt. Web applications, WASP. We'll use WASP, and we'll hit some. I'll show you some hack my box. There are so many sites are there. We'll hit on that particular missions, and you can say services. So we'll find some loopholes, and we'll see how it will work and all. Vulnerability classification, scoring levels. As I said, what is meant by CVE? What is meant by CVE means info. CVE information is something like info. You can say medium, high, and critical. How we are going to differentiate? What is the scoring levels? How it's considered as a 0 to 3, 3.1 to 4.9, 4.9 to 6, 6 to 10. What is the meaning of the scoring system? And there is finally how to write a threat report. So once you identify all this, then how to write a threat report. And there is something called major vulnerabilities analysis by using CVE ID. Basically, once you find the vulnerabilities, you will always find up with a CVE number. How you are going to address that particular CVE? By using a NVD, that National Vulnerability Database, managed by NIST, National Institute of Standard and Tools. Then till now we discuss about how a common people works in a SOC. Now specified to SIEM, it's most important. So being a SOC expert, you should know what is my SIEM and how it looks like. What is my SIEM architecture, what is my logs, event flows, understanding logs and formats, how to do a log baselining, what is mean by aggregation and normalization. You get a chunk of data out of which you are finding some properties, something like source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port. You are finding some user names, some domain names, some port IP range. So these are some so much of information that you can find through a normalization activity. How you are going to do? What is meant by event collection and event correlation? How you are going to do a event collection? What is the mechanism? Agent, agentless. How to do a correlation? How to create a rules? So to create any correlation, you have to go for a correlation of that particular rules that we are going to understand. Okay. So this is what content of your SIEM. Then we'll move back to security and you can say SolarWinds SIEM, open source SIEM tool, that is SolarWinds. We will deploy how to integrate with a monitor, how to configure log, how you are going to understand SIEM console, how to view your user interface, how to configure an agent in SIEM. See, in this case, I'll explain about both SolarWinds as well as Curadal simultaneously, because so we are going to train you people on by not by product. We'll train you by SIEM solution. If you start understanding SIEM solution deeply, you can is now it's on-job training required to work in any SIEM tool. So we are going to train you in a such a fashion so that you will be half with SolarWinds, half with a you can say Curador, so that it will be combination of multiple things, and you don't come to know the differences, and you will even identify the what are the different demos. That means we'll have a basic concepts of Curador, not entirely all, but some of the things, something like agent configuration. I'll show you in agent configuration Curador, and the same way I cannot show you in a SolarWinds because it's a demo session. I can't show you in a that for that I'll show you in a Curador. The same concept, how to configure in SCM, that I'll show you. How to manage your dashboard, that I'll show you in a both SolarWinds as well as Curador. So like that, some of the things that I can manage in a both vision, so that you can compare the two different SIEMs and understanding the concepts. Then how to syslog device to SIEM, how to navigate a SIEM console, how you are going to see like how it looks like and all. Then introduction to SolarWinds basic overview of SolarWinds, how it looks like, and what are the meaning of exploration of your user interface. What is the architecture? Now a structure of your SolarWinds, how event collector, event processor, flow collector, flow processor can come into the picture. What is in by log activity, how it looks like, real-time log activity, quick filters, log filtering and event mapping, how to do event mapping with some specific event name or a custom property by using regular expressions and all. So then we'll discuss about network activity. What is my flow? As I said, what are the flow and what are the different types of flow? There are some S flow, J flow, Q flow, N flow, that is net flow. Total 4 flows there. What is the meaning of all flows? We'll discuss flow filtering, how to do a flow filtering. There are some anomaly detection engine is there, that's called ADE. How we are going to apply? How to create your dashboards, how to create your widgets, how to normalize and customize your SolarWinds dashboard, that we are going to understand. Rules, how to create a rules, locate a rules, where in which tab the rules will be there, how to create your building block, something like modules, how to inspect the actions, how whether they're working or not, whether the alerts are throwing or not, what is the rule responses, what is the rule actions. So we'll discuss all those things. So there is a meaning of a rule action and there is a meaning of rule response. So action will take it immediately, responses will be some delay. Okay. Then we'll do some familiarizing, as I said, log services. I'll do this is the lab sessions, analyzing network connected missions, differentiate between attack lag and a normal lag, and setting of alert of abnormal behavior, something like threshold loss. You can say services getting hampered, services goes down, log sources not forwarding the logs. So we'll set up some basic behaviors, and we'll set up of your rules and actions of a different attacks. So how to tune your rules? For example, I'll have some set of 5 attacks. So how to set up a rule for those 5 with available log sources? How to generate a charts for analysis. Most important, the compliance standards may be applied on top of your system so that your machine will be something like configured, okay. And at the same point of time, this data compliances is something like you will create some charts, reports, so that you can compare with the old data with the new data and the future aspects, what is the future goals according to the charts that you can finalize. And you can create some set of management tools to identify the you can say compliance standards of your you can say you go with some standards, something like ISO 27001, 27003, and you can go with some data security 27007, and there's something called you can say 27049 cloud security. So like if you want to go for according to the your organization requirement, what kind of SOC, NERC, FAIR, FISMA, financial, PCIDSS. So there are some standards used to be there according to the companies, so that we have to manipulate according to the company standards. Then finally we will going to create what is meant by incident response. So prior to incident response, we will understand what is meant by, you can say, true positive, false positive, true negative, false negative. What is meant by high level category, low level category. What is meant by property. What is meant by, you can say, event name. How to map an event name. What is meant by different IDs that you can attach the one with the map, or you can say event. So what is the purpose of this incident response plan? Why we required? I don't know when this particular attack can come, but for that should I be ready for the futuristic destruction? Maybe may not be, but if the destruction happens, what you can do? How you can going to minimize that particular destruction? So that is what called incident response. You are getting to the step once you get the incident got occurred. So now you are in a position, you should be in a position to understand what is the meaning of that incident, and what is the basic things that we have to adhere as a standard operating procedure, RCA, that is rules code analysis, that may be playbook, that may be workbook, whatever. So you have to set up that particular incident response. You have to be there to collect some evidences, digital proofs, digital forensics to be done. So what are the preparation, planning, training plans? You can say action and objectives. How to minimize the goal? I mean, minimize your you can say structure in such a fashion so that incident response will be easy for you to identify. What is the handling steps? What is meant by incident management first? What is meant by different types of incident response team? In this case, we will discuss about CERT, that is Cyber Emergency Response Team, province-based response teams. You can say district-based response teams. So how we are going to understand and all that we will discuss in this particular incident response and handling. So totally 11 sections. So this is what our course content. So after completion of this particular course, after the 11th section, you can confidently say that now you can confidently say that even you can easily, whatever the situation you feel, that will be something like your SOC environment only. You will feel all the time, yes, this have been learned from there at this point of time. If you go and start working in a SOC, because the entire concepts that we have evolved from your practical experience. This is not a theory that we have grabbed from some of the you say textbooks and posted into your this particular presentation. It's not like that. It is something like we created an entire plan how a SOC looks like and how a practical SOC works. So these are the conversations that we are going to done. We are going to do, because if you don't talk about the practicality, there is no meaning of explaining so much of, you can say, 100 papers, 200 papers, 300 papers, notebooks, that you can say that may a big you can say bunch of papers. There is no meaning of keeping all those bunch of data. I'll give you a set of, you can say, I'll continuously give you so much of, you can say, assignments, the documents, you can say presentations, and followed by we'll provide you some video recording sessions after providing the NDA. So those will be there for reanalyzing what was the class and how we have identified the sessions in a beautiful manner. So we'll discuss all those things, and this is something like entirely one-to-one session. So it's not like we are not going to handle something like I keep on telling and you will be only listening in mode. It is something like one-to-one. You can say discussions. I'll start asking you so many questions. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of that? How we are going to understand this concept? So we'll discuss. So what we are doing here, we are enhancing our knowledge by sharing our experience and you can say knowledge. So this is what going to happen over here. But for that I will be the something like white team member, and you people are something like blue and red team members. So I will be there to make you more comfortable and more feel comfortable for having this conversation together. So this is what the you can say entire course content. So once after completion of this, you will be confidently say that you can easily handle a SOC without any issue. So this is the course content and plan. Anyone has any doubt, just let me know. Yeah, thanks Aslam. Uh, you might have understand the course content, deep gravity of the particular content. It's not, see, for each you don't think that the dots are very simple. So for each dots it may take I may take 15 to 20 minutes of each session. So it will be very bigger aspects. We will take 30 hours of practical as well as entire class sessions, 30 hours of sessions. And I do forget, we do take classes from Monday to Friday batches, so weekdays from 7 to 8, that is 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then we'll have the sessions, continuous sessions on this entire 5 days, and you will get uh, do we get a chance to work on Azure Sentinel? See, this particular course doesn't have the Sentinel concepts, but the methodology of SIEM is remains same. That I can tell you. The Sentinel, whatever you are going to do by using some SSQL or something like. So here you are going to use something like Curadar using Arial database, SolarWinds is using Elastic database. So you can use that particular database. You can say questions. So the methodology of picking the data is very similar. Something like, because all structured query languages are very similar. So whenever you are querying something, select star, select database name, then from where, from which, what are the things to be collected. Some, for example, select a star from you can say events where the username is so and so. So this is what the same concepts will be similar in all the different SIEMs, but the methodology, the utilization of the you can say concepts, utilization of the you can say JSD is different. There's the only difference between multiple SIEMs. So we'll discuss once you understand SolarWinds and Curadar in a better manner. So you can work on any SIEM tools, no doubt on it. So anything more? Yeah, Humira Aslam main. So it is something like more or less you are forwarding the logs, that may be like Wazoo, Alien Vault, Logger, Mia, Curador, anything, Splunk, whatever. You are forwarding the logs and they are collecting the logs. They are processing the logs and they are showing a database. You can say a dashboard, and you can say alert mechanism. The methodology of visibility is different. The user interface may look like different, but the approach, the actual behind the approach is remains same. Because if you are going for a you can say car, you may purchase any car, but the gear system is remains same. Yes or no? General standard. General standard of any gearing system, or you can say mechanism of you can say using clutch, brake and accelerator is remains same. If you wanna run, means you have to accelerate. If you want to stop, you have to go for a brake. That's it. Clutch with a brake. Now it is a concept of, you can say, removing clutch. That means the automation make into the effectiveness. But that concept of, you can say, that motor technology, mechanical technology or whatever, I'm not expert in that particular mechanical engineering. But the, you can say that engine technologies remain same, though they can say this is my engine, this is my engine, but the concept of engine is remain same. They use either any one of the gasoline together, that may be petroleum, or you can say you can go for a diesel or something else. But the concept is remain same in a, you can say, preparing of the engines, preparing of that particular usage. But similarly here also SIM is remain same with a very vast features. Solar winds may have the less features, the other big companies may have the latest features, something like you will have with a Mac wheels. You will have, you can say, open that particular top window. You will have a back wiper. You will have a JBL speakers. Like in SIM also, there are so many aspects. So you may have some UEBA solutions, threat intel solutions, so technology integrations. So according to the requirement, according to the level of approach, the work of that particular SIM come into the exist. So more or less every deployment standards are very similar, but user interface difference with a background usage. Something like some people use Tomcat, some people use some other IAS, some people use third-party solutions, XAMPP, LAMP, WAMP kind of things. Yeah. Any other things, guys? Hope you people have enjoyed this particular session. So from tomorrow onwards, the sessions actually it's got started from Friday only. That was in regular, you can say, introduction to the session have been completed. So from tomorrow onwards, the actual session starts. We'll set up a batch, and it will start something like it will start from Monday to Friday on 7 to 8 p.m. That's night, Indian Standard Time. Okay, and it will be for 5 days a week, and is a fashioning content of 30 hours. We'll try to most probably we'll try to finish off in 30 hours. If not, sometimes if happens, so we may go for 1 or 2 sessions extra. And all these contents will be provided as a video share, presentation shares. Will be provided documentation. Whatever I'll give in a you can say documentations. So utilize those documentation for re-verification of your content, and you can go for a revision of your video sessions at any point of time. If you are not available, then only this particular videos will be there. You can say, for example, you are unable to attend the particular session for the day. You don't worry. That video session will be there. On the next day itself, we'll try to provide as early as possible. Then you just move on and just understand the concept of your videos. And if you have any doubts, just throw me a message on the groups, so I'll provide the solution for that. Hopefully each and everyone has enjoyed this particular session. And anything more, guys? Any doubts? And if you have any doubts, so this is our mail ID, vishnuthehacktivist@gmail.com, info@simintelligence.com, and you can WhatsApp us on that particular number, 7737 131 and 337, 7737 131 337. So this is WhatsApp is maintained, managed by, you can say, Rohan Mathur, one of the very soft spoken guy. You can contact for any doubts, not only this particular SOC expertise, not you can say go for any SIM or any for the, we do provide so many courses. You can ask any doubts, and if you have a list of, you can say, a bunch of courses together, then also you can contact Rohan for how to manage those courses to be done in a better manner, in a, say, presentable manner, and we can say with a practical experience. That will be provided by, the entire solution will be provided by your Rohan there. And any other doubts, any other issues, if anything is there, just throw a mail us. You can mail at any point of time, and we'll be there to provide the answer for that. and it's a great honor me to take this particular session. And thank you so much for each and everyone to be patient in this particular session and taking this particular opportunity and understand the concepts of, you can say, cybersecurity expertise concepts. And thank you so much. And again, uh, welcome back. Welcome to SIEM Intelligence family. Any more doubts? Just let me know. Yeah, thanks, Aslam. Thank you so much. So we'll meet on Monday tomorrow. The fresh timing in at 7 to 8. Thank you so much for the session and good night to all.